Hello, it is September 30th and I am Sam, head of the Academy here at Adara. Today, let's take a look at the beans. There was a huge bounce off the bottom. Look at that accumulation that occurred down in the 7,800 range. We're now trading $200 off that and have pushed back up to, go on the 5-day levels. We are now back up to the area we're trading in before, in this 7930 to 8,880. Actually, if you look at it, the 8,880, which is this yellow area, represents 30% of all the volume that occurred over the past 5 days. We actually traded up right to the top of it. So we came out of the back into the value area, and then back into the Uber value area, and traded right to the top of it. And I'm probably going to trade more around here for the next couple of days. Yeah, so this was a short squeeze off the bottom, but the overall selling pressure has yet to abate. So let's take a look at Ethereum. Wow, Ethereum had a bit of a short squeeze as well too, but again, not trading out of the volume area, which it has been primarily trading in at 175. It could have been a decent place to reshort if we're expecting further price declines. Let's go to the month. Right, so again, look at this. So came right back up to the top of the 30% of all volume, really moving around in this channel here from 165 bucks up to like 175 bucks in this $10 channel, which the majority of all the volume has taken place over the past month. So the thing to note is that this move in the morning, which occurred taking from 166 to 175, and also in Bitcoin as well too, same thing that happened for Ripple as well, going from 23 cents to 25 cents, is a short squeeze. And that's a lot of the margin shorts were just bid up, so they get liquidated. This is well outside of the range of a lot of the higher end shorts. If you look at the 25x, 50x, 100x, probably most all of those got liquidated. Let me just take a quick ruler, and yeah, so that's 8%. So that's even close to, yeah, so that's even the 20x as well too. And it's getting close to the 10x shorts as well too, which is putting heavy pressure on them. I would expect that to abate over the next few hours. With Bitcoin still moving downwards and making lower lows and lower highs, the short squeeze that occurred is still going to have downward negative price movement over the next few days, as we haven't found a bottom yet, haven't made that low. But short squeeze was pretty decent for a bit of scalping. Could have taken the 212s, which had been touched twice before. So this was the top of the channel, and this is the bottom of the channel, and we're trading above it. So the next area, which would provide a bit of support or some resistance heading up, would be about 180. If we got there, you can see that that's the previous high volume node. Same for this 175 area, it was also a high volume node. So 179, right in here, there was a bit of consolidation before the move up happened. That I would think would be the next major area to provide some decent price action. So on the year chart for Bitcoin, this node has been hit. The next one is 6,400. We've traded pretty quickly through all of 8,000, even though there was quite a bit of volume that happened in there. The next area to fill out would be between 6,300 and 8,000, which is where I expect to find significant support once the price comes down. That will probably occur over the next, I don't know, month, even though these things can happen pretty quick. So like late October, finding the finding a low here at 64, and then continuing probably even a bit lower, finding some lows in 5,900, but we'll see. Pavel thinks we're going to 3 digits. I'm unsure of that yet. Moving on to stories. So the U.S. is going to sign a treaty to force platforms like Facebook to share encrypted chats with UK police. Obviously, if you didn't know already, WhatsApp and Facebook chats, even though they say they're end-to-end encrypted, they're not. There's centralized servers where all of your chats are kept in plain text, so that U.S. intelligence agencies can go back through and read everything that you've ever written. Now, the treaty is an extension of the U.S.'s abilities to read encrypted chats with the United Kingdom. And I guess this does make a little bit sense. The UK is a part of the Five Eyes, which is the group of intelligence agencies. That's the Aussies, the New Zealand, UK, the US, and the European Union, I think. I have to check that up on that. But the Five Eyes have a pretty close intelligence relationship, and this would just be an extension. But the big thing is to know is that whatever you say on WhatsApp is probably being read and probably being parsed by some computer in the NSA and then tracked. And if anybody wants to listen into your phone calls or do anything like that, then they can. So I found this thread this morning by Lance R. Vick, a crypto locksmith and security researcher, and he went into depth into what was going on with WhatsApp. So it just says the WhatsApp backdoor is now public and official, even though it's existed for a long time. There is no future for privacy or security tools that are centralized and proprietary. If you can't decentralize it, some governments will strong-arm you for access. This is why I'm so obsessed with decentralized reproducible builds for iOS, so no one ever trusts me by design. When some entity asks me to backdoor, it won't matter, as people will just see the new backdoor patch in the file repo and opt to not include it in their builds. So Signal, iMessage, WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Discord will all see these backdoors come, and there's not a thing you can do as a consumer except move your communication to open protocols like Matrix, where you can take control of the clients and servers as needed. So the client being open source is not good enough, as the server could just ban all clients that don't encrypt a copy of their messages to the backdoor key. If the server is open, they pop up everywhere in different legal jurisdictions, and you can move to one that is not compromised. Don't buy the nonsense that spying on the nudes of every teen couple is going to stop terrorism. Terrorists see these articles too and will just move to provably secure systems too. Governments will find other reasons to use their new power, so like the Chinese social credit score. So he actually provided a document, which I would recommend everybody to go check out. It is a list of all the digital communication protocols and what they have for security and privacy, their compatibility with PC, mobile, and different operating system, as well as different features and the sustainability of the platforms themselves. So there's actually a lot here. You can see that Telegram is here, Facebook. Let's just look at like Facebook. They don't have an open client. They don't have open servers. The servers are not on premise. It's not an anonymous communication system. They claim end-to-end privacy. They claim end-to-end group privacy. End-to-end privacy is not on by default, and audits are impossible to occur on Facebook. And they also have FIDO, which is your 2FA. They have all the clients, but they don't have local messaging, and it's not decentralized, it's not open spec, and I don't know what IETF is. So essentially it's looking for an open source, encrypted, fully encrypted, end-to-end private, anonymous chatting system. Even Telegram does not have open servers, not on on-premise, not anonymous, partial end-to-end private. None of the group chats in Telegram are actually end-to-end encrypted, and it's not end-to-end by default. You actually have to choose it within the your phone. But it's higher. Signal, same thing. If you don't control the servers, then you can't control the messages that come in. So, he works on a project called Matrix, which we will go take a look at. It's a decentralized, open network for secure, decentralized communication. So it's open source, open standards, secure, decentralized, and yeah. So simply HTTP APIs and SDKs, state-of-the-art in encryption with OLM and MEG-OLM cryptographic ratchets, double ratchet bridging. Yeah. So you can see that it's a decentralized conversation store rather than a messaging protocol. Let's check this out, actually. I don't think they have iOS or Android abilities. Oh, they do have iOS for SDK. So someone can build on this if they want. Very cool. I'm going to have to check this out. The next big news is that Ledger X claims personal animus drove ex-CTFC chair to stall approvals. So if you haven't, one of the previous videos we talked about the Bach launch, but one of their competitors was Ledger X, and their introduction of, actually their approval of their licenses, they're claiming was denied by former FTC chairman J. Christopher Giancarlo, who was personally biased against the company and improperly used his position to delay the approval of an amended derivatives clearing organization registration. So Giancarlo threatened the company, saying, in January 2019, the chairman called one of our board members and told him that he was going to make sure your DCO order is revoked within 2 weeks due to a blog post written by the head of the company, CEO Paul Chow, in the previous year, implying that the preferential treatment was being given to larger companies so he could, in quotes, cement his legacy. This refers to the ICE-BOCT approval, which was running into issues that were frustrating the chairman. So the CoinDesk article goes more into depth on what their complaint covers. It's actually very interesting in how they were working in relation to ICE and also BOCT, and how supposedly there was preferential treatment given to BOCT. So over the weekend, so for the past few days, there's been a lot of news about Spencer Dinwiddie, who attempted to tokenize his $34.4 million contract, and the NBA actually rejected it. So he had shared plans with multiple news outlets on creating a D8 token that would sell his portion of his contract to accredited investors in 150,000 or larger allocations. And this tokenized security would be backed by Dinwiddie's contract. And he was going to do it on Ethereum and raise between 4.95 and 13.5 million in the offering. And it had the potential for paying more than the base amount of the contract if Dinwiddie achieved certain performance thresholds and was paid bonuses. But the NBA didn't see his efforts in the same way. And his intention to sell investors a tokenized security is prohibited by the CBA, which provides that no player shall assign or otherwise transfer to any third party his right to receive compensation from the team under his uniform player contract. So selling shares in your earnings has been attempted in the past, which tried to sell some NFL shares, but Dinwiddie's deal would have been the first pro athlete contract issued on the public Ethereum blockchain. So not happening for now. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. I am Sam from the Academy. We'll be back tomorrow with another daily update.